what this chemical is, how it's being used in the state, and then whether or not, we need to be more focused on how we're using it, whether we have to start asking questions about whether this is the right chemical to use whatsoever.
Big Island Senator Josh Green chaired a health committee hearing on the use of Roundup in Hawaii by state, county, and city governments. Concerns over the potential hazardous effects of the herbicide have risen lately, hand in hand with the hotly debated issue of genetically engineered food crops. Senator Russell Ruderman was in attendance for the briefing held on Oahu. The Puna senator has shown great interest in the topic.
So I know that it's been widely used in large part because of its great reputation for safety. And now that the science is showing that that may not be such a well-deserved reputation, I think it's important that we take a good look at what we're using so much of so casually and whether it's the right thing to do. So thank you, Senator Green, for bringing this hearing together.
Jeff Knowles of Kona Water and Soil Conservation District made a presentation to the committee on the use of Roundup on the Big Island.
They use Roundup with the same techniques in many residential areas. The residential area I live in, KAK Street. They'll come down there once every 3 months. They'll spray. I see the parents see the trucks coming. Come on, kids, get inside. The truck goes by. The kids are right outside. They're right when they're done spraying. They're out right in it. Nothing is marked. So adults and unsuspecting adults and children, they do walk over these areas within minutes of spraying. I've seen it many times. And in addition, I have no question that drift in these kind of situations have the potential to enter homes, because once again they're using the high pressure spraying at distances with a very fine mist. Very difficult to come up with a day where there's no wind in Kona. We get Mackay winds coming up the ocean every day. Might not be windy in one area. You go a mile further, you're going to have a wind gust come up. So in addition to the Hawaii County and State Department of Transportation use of the herbicide, Roundup is used extensively throughout the Kona districts by farmers, ranchers, landscapers, and businesses. As I mentioned, I do not believe we should ban Roundup. I don't believe we should. It would have a devastating effect on our farmers. I believe that we do need a very strong education program. Same with ranchers.
Andrea Rosenoff, the Director of Research and Science Information Outreach for the Center for Magnesium Education and Research, shared her attempts to gather information on the chemical.
Glyphosate not only kills plants, it also kills some, not all, bacteria. And so the idea is that it would disrupt the flora and fauna of the GI tract of animals and of human beings. That's a lot of speculation at this time. It needs a lot more research, as you can tell. It's a very complex issue. There also are very recent reports of harm and even death in agricultural workers. Sri Lanka, I think, might be considering a ban on it, El Salvador and Panama. What I have heard is that in the Sri Lanka, it is a kidney disease of unknown etiology, and there's controversy of what is causing this. Of course, a disease like that takes a long term to figure out what's happening. You find it in a certain pocket. It takes a long time and a lot of research to have that. And remember my first slide, there's not a lot of research.
The state's health director, Dr. Linda Rosen, attended the briefing. Senator Ruderman asked her about work by Dr. Stephanie Seneff of MIT connecting to autism.
And she was very frustrated because she couldn't find a mechanism or a causal factor, until she came across some research about the effect of glyphosate on gut bacteria. And that gut bacteria is very related, in her opinion, to some of the things related to autism, also obesity and food allergies, some of the other things that have been rising in concert with the massive increase in the use of glyphosate and similar.
Well, there are things that we would call an association. Cause and effect is very different. And in that regard, as you probably know, it's undoubted that the genesis of autism is prenatal. So again, if you're thinking that it's causing autism in children, you'd really be looking at effects on pregnant women and then have to say, how does a pregnant woman's gut flora change and, cause autism? And as a pediatrician, I've lived through the years of vaccine horror as autism increased, and many, many people were convinced that mercury was the cause of autism. And I think that that's hopefully finally been laid to rest as we've gotten the mercury out of vaccines. But you could find many researchers with pretty good sounding credentials who would get up there and tell you that absolutely autism was caused by mercury. If we chelated children, they wouldn't have autism, and all kinds of things that I was very distressed to see occur. So just because, pesticide use is increasing and autism increase is far from proving cause and effect. But we do need to look at it.